think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into Sandra P's Gen Extra. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me on your Friday night. Good Friday for those of you who acknowledge. And if you don't, it's still a Good Friday. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me during a live. This is Sandra P's Gen Extra. I am Sandra P. I'm so happy to have you spend a little bit of time with me. American Born is already here. Thank you so much for coming in. Says good evening to myself, mods in the chat. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. As you come in, please click the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Of course, this is going to be Ladies of London. Ladies of London is a new show, kind of a reboot of a show. So that's why it is season 4, episode number 6. And this is Not So Fair Ladies. They have very witty titles because these are very witty people, as they keep reminding us. I'm getting a kick out of it. I find a lot of it funny. And then tonight there was a little more kind of sly, slick, mean remarks, but it was still, it didn't go too far. It didn't go beyond the pale. And this happens at Martha's party. The name of the episode, Not So Fair Lady, is also the theme of Martha's party, based on the Audrey Hepburn movie, Rex Harrison, My Fair Lady. Some of the cast members, Missy, did not know this. So I found that really funny. And then some of them did not know what a theme was. They are certain ones looking like Dr. Contessa at almost any event. Dr. Contessa from Married to Medicine, which just ended, who is known to show up the exact opposite of whatever the theme is. Thank you so much for joining during the live. Good evening, Sandra P. Ophelia Burkhalter. It is good to see you. I hope you had a productive, wonderful, restful week, if we can have all those things coexist at once. And Good Friday to those who celebrate. I hope you had a Good Friday if you don't. And this is Easter weekend. This is also a weekend where Sandra P is free to move about the cabin. That starts tomorrow. So I'm going to take you with me on and off on my journey with the spring break. Some members of my family are coming. I'll get some time alone, but some of it will be with other people. But more than likely, I'll be live by myself. We'll go to New Orleans first thing in the morning, and then we'll have day and night there. And then we will be at sea for 7 days. But for now, welcome into Ladies of London Review. This is a series that is a reboot. So it's actually season 4, even though with this cast, this is the first season that most of us have met any of them. So welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Everyone speaks to each other and says hello. If you're in the bushes, please click the like button, and I appreciate that so much. I'll read one comment, and then I'll get started with the review, and then I'll go back and we'll engage in the comments, as I like to do. Yes, I like when people understand the assignment. Yes, me too, because it can look kind of bizarre. Some of that comes up during the party, and it's part of the shade that Mark gets to throw on Margot. Margot, you might have met your match. Kimmy, I'll show y'all how Kimmy walked in if I can find it quickly. Kimmy looked good. Kimmy looked really good walking in. So we start out with Micah. Micah is putting together her Jim Henson puppet knockoff. Rest in peace to Jim Henson. He did Sesame Street and The Muppet Show, and really was at the forefront of teaching children kindness. Now, this is I have manners books. There's a whole series of it, Micah. But Micah is working on these puppets, and she has come up with this idea. Micah, I don't know. I mean, it's really cute and it's really nice, but I've seen it before. So on etiquette and also manners and being kind for children. So we see her at work. We see Martha and her magpie, Harga A. They are moving into another apartment. So this was a little confusing. We started out, Martha was fixing up a sitting room. Remember, she had the €3,500 budget. That's going to be more than $3,500. The euro is higher than the dollar. So she's working with a nice budget for one room. But of course, we have one of our friends, one of our American friends, Margot, who contrasts that with what she's spending per month. Started out as $50,000. Now she's telling us it's $60,000. So she's in a new rental as well. And she also has news this episode. We get to meet her two stepsons, and she's excited because her husband is on the way. I can see her doing good there in England with the children's show. I can too. The two Muppets were cute, and one of them looked just like the little girl in this Manners book that I have, or that my niece and nephew have. So Martha and Harka A move. Martha is in this cute polka dot suit, and she's looking around. There are boxes everywhere. She said, "This is just squalor." So I'm not going to make fun of her place. She actually calls it squalor, and it is indeed squalor. So her and Harka are getting moved. Excuse me, looking aside. I want to make sure everything is okay while I'm live, so I'm just turning that on. Margot's stepsons are Charlie and Jackson. Again, they are in town. They are meeting Missy at a park. I see kind of what Mark's friend was talking about. She walks in with the stepsons and she's telling us that she's excited about the husband coming to town. Some of it does seem kind of like she's acting a little bit. So Margot, you can kind of be yourself. You're being a little bit phony. Oh, I didn't even see American Born's comment. Let me read this before I finish. I believe what Mark said about her acting brand new. That's for sure. Bye, Margot. I started everybody out with a clean slate. You see up in the top corner, me in that green cloak. I took that at BravoCon in the traders booth. So I made up something called the Cloak of Immunity. You know how rough it is first seasons of a new show or new people to a show. I put it over new housewives, new castmates. Angel infamously wore one. Both Angels, actually. Brandy wore one. She was successful. Now, my Angel from Potomac, we don't know how she fared in the Cloak of Immunity. Some people advocated for her not having it because she just couldn't deal with what went on. But I have it over the whole show. I don't think the show will have a problem. I think they're popular. But we are seeing some cracks in Margot's foundation. This actress, unbothered American actress thing, we see it. And American Born, there's a little news. Now, we know Kimmy infamously called her South Carolina came over here. Margot's from South Carolina. She's trying to portray herself as this actress and this lady and rich American. But I don't know. I think she's kind of a phony. And they're saying that at one point she dated Whitney, Miss Patricia's Whitney over on Southern Charm. I don't like that family, y'all. I don't watch that show. I can't watch Vanita be abused over there. I can't do it. Please don't put that cloak on Margot. She would shuffle out from under it like she doesn't even need it. So I have it over this show, but not Margot. Margot, take that off your shoulder. Micah, I think, is really sweet. I have her under my wing. I really had compassion for her. The way she could not detect Dara was not a good friend and kept calling the lady, she's my best friend, Bunny, Bunny. So Micah has it on. Missy's kind of a disaster. I do like Missy. Missy keeps a lot going on. So Missy can wear the cloak. And then it's over the show in general. American Born says, my news is about the Rhode Island show. Okay, I didn't get to watch it yet. I do want to watch it. It is actually, YouTube put it up and it's on Bravo as well. Peacock hopefully aired it so I don't have to watch the commercials. I watched a couple of the clips. I don't know how we're going to tell all those ladies apart. I'm going to have to get slides made of them with their picture over them. And they all look like different fonts of Dolores Cantanilla to me. Dolores from New Jersey. Now, Dolores is going to be friend of to one of the ladies. American Born says, yes, she was sweet. What she did for Emma before she leaves for the marathon. Yes. So we'll check in with all the different ladies. Bravo loves to have these little vignettes where we check in with the castmates. The first one is Margot with her stepsons, Charlie and Jackson. And I've never been a teen mom before. She's never been a mom at all. She trapped this rich man with this baby. So of course she didn't have teen sons. These are his sons. She let us know. I'm not making fun of Margot. I'm just saying she let us know that she had to beg him to marry her and all this kind of stuff. So the sons are at the park. They walk up. They're cute boys, regular teenage boys. Missy is meeting her. Missy walks in. She's got some kind of version of her falling out of her top. And Margot was kind of funny. She said, here are you and your boobs to meet my stepsons. Then in the confessional, she does a little too much. When I first met them, I noticed they were staring at my boobs. And I told them, eyes up, mister. Meet a lady at her eyes. So you're not in competition. Both of y'all have nice bodies, but you don't need to be in competition with Margot for your stepson's attention. So when Missy walks up, the sons are like, oh, here's Missy. And they said, hi. They went in for a hug. You know, teen boys do not do this with strangers. So this was really funny. Yes, that's what I told my sister. Those ladies look alike. Yeah, American Born. We're going to have to figure out how to tell the Real Housewives of Rhode Island apart. We've got 2 new shows. Well, this reboot, Ladies of London, and then we have the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. That one is getting pretty good word of mouth too. So we'll see what happens there. Yes, I believe she trapped him as well. Yeah, and then she told us that it was during COVID and everything happened so fast. She hugged him. Next thing you know, she's half on a baby and had to beg him to marry her. Margot, you are shameless. Margot, you're a liar. I don't believe that. Yeah, American Born. We're seeing it too. Margot, I wanted to give everybody some grace, but Margot kind of got on my nerves this episode. But Mark is the very one for her to feud with. Kimmy too, because they're going to give it to her. So she tells us she's trained them to keep their eyes up. And they were polite. They were being polite boys. They were just teenage boys. She gives them money to go get ice cream. Of course, this is just a cover. She wants to sit with Missy and start talking about the rest of the cast like a dog. So she gets started. Missy is funny. She says, I made up with Kimmy. And Margot says, I guess that's good. And Missy says, she made up with me and she brought sincerity and an apology. Now, Missy's pretty funny. I don't know if it's because speaking in English is her second language and maybe she's speaking another language because she is she's a Scandinavian model, as we know. But she said, Kimmy made up with me. She brought sincerity. She doesn't want to make up with you. She's being very direct. And she seemed to get a kick out of it. So Margot was a little bit upset about that too. She said, oh, I'm going to run into Kimmy because we find out Martha is planning an event. They did seem really sweet. I like those boys. I think this is going to be really good for Margot's storyline as well. Because what's going on with this non-existent movie career? Supposedly she's on another show that's not this one. So Margot, we're going to need to see more. So then Missy and Kimmy's apology production shows us the apology. Kimmy's apology was one of those, I think it was sincere. I think it was the best she can do. She doesn't seem like a person that likes to apologize, but it was one of those, I'm sorry if you were offended, because she said, I see now that you're a little bit more sensitive than me, so I have to be mindful of how I handle you. That was enough for Missy. Missy is glad. She didn't really want to be at odds with Kimmy anyway. And I feel like it's too early for them to start this feuding, but it is entertaining. So they have made up. And Margot says that she can see Kimmy talking behind somebody's back, but Margot has shocked her. What the F? Her response is the fact that while Missy is just telling all of this stuff between her and Kimmy and the fact that they've made up, she says, but you know who else was talking about you like a dog? Those are my words. She said, Mark was. He has a friend, and the friend said she hadn't seen you in 20 years, and you were unrecognizable. You're putting on airs. You're being an actress. Margot's sitting there like, she's shocked that they're now talking about her behind her back. And then production shows Margot spread rumors on other people. Remember, she was one of the ones talking about Dara being a madam. She was doing a lot of stuff behind people's back. So American Born is laughing. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm glad Margot got called out by Missy. I can't figure out if Missy kind of doing this on purpose or if she's really innocent as to what she is telling Margot that the others were saying about her. I do too. It was sincere, but not the best apology. No, we can already tell that Kimmy might not be used to apologizing by how bold and in your face she is. I love how you explain things. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, American Born. I try to be original. Try to watch the show once and then take notes as well. So I didn't get to see it 2 times, but hopefully I'll be able to show Kimmy's entrance because this party is going to be important. The My Fair Lady party and also how they come in, the way they're dressed. So Margot's saying, what the F? She's in her confessional complaining. Mark is talking about me. He could have said it to her face, all this kind of stuff. Margot, you're not saying stuff to people's face. So I think Margot thought she was going to be like a cute villain and her name on everybody's lips. But now they're talking about her behind her back. And Micah is a snowflake. She's just going to be kind of on everybody's side because I don't see anybody picking on Micah. They got to pick on somebody. Kimmy doesn't want to be the villain. So tag Margot, you're it. We see Lady Emma. Lady Emma is welcoming Micah into her home. Thank you for bringing that up, American Born. Micah arrives bearing gifts. She's carrying a really pretty basket. I love people that do this because you know she's going to let her keep the basket. She's got all these thoughtful things in there because Lady Emma is running a marathon. I can't name everything that was in there, but it was things that would be useful to you if you were going to run a marathon. So Lady Emma, thank you so much. Now, she seemed really excited. I thought it was really cute. They sat down and Lady Emma starts going through each item. I don't have one of these. I really need this. And you can tell that because she probably has had so much money for so long because her husband is so rich and he's royal. People may not really give her things or think she needs anything, kind of like the person that has everything. So I think that was really cute. We need Linda Gamble to give Margot a pink slip. Yes, I love when Linda Gamble, one of the moderators, can come in, moderator extraordinaire, because we know she handles much larger platforms. So I really appreciate her presence when she's here. And she will give you a pink slip. Now, this is the first season. I don't like one season wonders. I do not like one and dones. But Margot is going to get on our nerves enough where I know Linda going to give her a pink slip, whether I like it or not. So yeah, that would be pretty funny. So Lady Emma and Micah are visiting. I like this partnership. And Lady Emma says, "Why are you the sweetest?" That was really a sweet idea. She was really taken by the gift. And then Lady Emma gets vulnerable with Micah. She tells her about her diagnosis. Can't remember the details, but it was something that manifested itself during the birth of one of her children. She has to keep an eye on it. She has to get ultrasounds. Whatever they found, she said that she begged them for a second opinion. So we know they're on national health care in the UK, but this woman is royalty. I don't think any doctor would tell her, no, we're not going to give you a second ultrasound. She could probably get as many scans or whatever it is she wants. So she is saying the way it impacted her, life is precious, and she doesn't like to kind of sweat the small stuff. It's her way of saying it, my way of saying it, but that's what she meant. The Somali Queen, welcome in. Thank you so much. She comes in waving and everyone is speaking to Somali Queen. What did I walk into? This is the Ladies of London. This is a new show, but kind of a reboot. So it's season 4, episode 6, but we don't know any of these people. These are new people. I'll show you the cast since I believe you are new to it. I want to find a way where you can just see everybody. Let's see. I'll do it this way. The lady in black on the far is Lottie. She's married to a fashionista. His name is Joshua. They're dressed alike pretty frequently. The lady in green is Kimmy. She is going to be instrumental in the cast. She's in the middle of a couple of feuds. That is Margot with the dress with her girls almost hanging out. She is an American actress. American Born and I talking about her putting on airs, and the rest of the cast sees it as well. Mark Francis, even though this is Ladies of London, this is the one and only gent. Mark is as snappy and as snarky as any of the ladies, and he doesn't mind saying what he thinks. So that's Mark leaning down. And then I'm sorry, let me see if there is some way. The way I have my layout, I've done something different, so I can't really see. I want to make sure everyone, okay, I've made myself smaller. There, Lady Emma, who I just mentioned, she's in the middle in the black dress. She's married to, I think his name is Lord Alex. I'll come back and get his real name because they get so upset when you say anything about the Brits and don't give the real title. But she is an official lady. She has a title. She is in Kenya this week, which I love. She's going to run a marathon. The lady in the pink is Micah. She is a sweet American. She's part of a scandal. The first couple of episodes, the lady she named as her best friend said she don't barely know this lady. She pulled a Mariah Carey. She's like, I do not know her. Micah's calling the lady her best friend. That was Dara. Dara's no longer on the show, but I think we'll see more of her. I'm not sure. Martha, she's a lady as well. She got divorced, and the only thing she kept was her title. So that is Martha right there in black, leaning on the steps. And then right next to my picture is Missy. Missy is the Scandinavian model. Missy just came out of a really tumultuous marriage, divorce, and Missy is also the mother to 2 children. We don't know details yet, Somali Queen, but she has lost custody of one, the son, and the husband has him, her ex-husband. He was a famous footballer and he is moved with their child to another country, and she has possession of the one child that she actually had with this other man. Had the baby within 9 months, within 8 months, actually, Somali Queen. So we're speculating. Everything is allegedly. It's in my opinion. We don't know whether or not she was messing with this man while she was married to the husband, and that's why she lost custody. We don't know. So I'll go through, read a couple of comments, and then I'll pick back up where we left off. So this show is a good watch. It's kind of funny. I couldn't get into it, child. Yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot of talking and a lot of snarkiness, but it was just the right amount of messiness for me. I like it. A lot of pointing. That's from Kimmy. I don't think anybody's going to lay hands or throw water or anything like that. So I'm okay with it. I love the new cast with a man this time. Oh, yeah, Mark. I think this is a good cast, too. There's another show called Made in Chelsea. I'm not too familiar with, but it is a cast that had some of the other people on it. I think Mark and also Missy. Did I miss that at Somali Queen? Y'all will go back and forth in the chat. Maybe American. The Americans on the cast, Somali Queen, are the actress Margot, who the rest of the cast, Mark in particular, and one of his friends, feel like Margot is putting on airs. We do as well. And Somali Queen, the movie that she has made is very controversial. It's from years ago. It might be known as Corn. It is the only movie it was nominated for at Cannes Film Festival. She and the actor got so into it, completion was reached on screen, and she think that's cute. But if you call it Corn, she gets mad. So Margot is straight up trash. She's from South Carolina. She's an American. Micah's the other American. Kimmy in green, she, if you look at her, you say, oh, she's just a British white lady. She is a Haitian American shipping heiress. So her dad, they showed a picture of her dad. Her dad looked almost like Kiki's dad from Real Housewives of Miami. He's a dark brown Haitian, and he said he would joke. She said he would joke, I have found a little white girl. She grew up in Miami and also Port-au-Prince, and she speaks fluent Creole. So Kimmy's a really different character, something I haven't seen on this show. Good luck, she's laughing. Ophelia, spoke to Ophelia Burkhart, who she and American Born have been here since the beginning. Welcome in, good evening. Cece, one of the moderators, came in greeting everybody. I appreciate that so much. Did you watch Rhode Island? That is the other new show. I didn't finish it yet, but I'm going to review it. I'll have time to watch it later. Supposed to finish up my packing, and then I'll be free to move about the cabin. That is my travel series. That's also within my channel. It's a separate playlist. So you'll see me en route a little bit, and then when I get there, I'll share that. So I haven't watched it yet, but I will. And then I've already scheduled a live for 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I will tune in from New Orleans. Maybe I'll have some beignets to show you or some po' boys. So they, Micah and Emma, Lady Emma, they are talking about Lady Emma has one of her charities. Again, being a royal, they have all these duties that they have to do. Her husband is one of the newer type royals. Lady Emma has let us know that over 1 million visitors a year visit their estate while they live there. So she said it's like living in a fishbowl. She also has an active place where they have safari in Kenya. I believe it's in Kenya. I hope I'm not wrong, but somewhere, one of the African countries. I apologize if I'm mistaken, but I know for a fact that the part of the charity she's doing is going to be a run, a marathon in Kenya. So she's getting prepared for that. Her and Micah are talking. She's getting emotional about her diagnosis. And then she apologizes. I'm so sorry. I don't want to make anyone upset. Y'all know the last episode or two, it's a whole big thing. Kimmy and Missy got into it because Missy shared that her brother had been deleted on the street with a GUN in front of his wife and children on Christmas Eve. So believe it or not, Kimmy is mad at Missy because she brought that up at a tea party and it brought the mood down. So now we got Lady Emma apologizing. I'm so sorry. I don't want to make anyone upset. And Micah's saying, you're not making anyone upset. It's fine if you express your feelings. So Micah's telling us that the Brits do not want, I'm sorry, I was trying to show Lady Emma. I'll get a good place and leave it there. But for right now, I won't worry about it. Yeah, see Lady Emma in black in the middle. Thandie Newton vibes, a beautiful lady. She doesn't get into the mess, so she's apologizing for possibly upsetting Micah. Micah gets a confessional. She says, it's the British way to not complain, but I'm glad she's able to let it out. I'm glad Lady Emma feels that she can be herself in front of me and keep calm and carry on. We know that poor Micah is so thirsty for friends because her husband is a financier. This man travels every week. So he's on and off the road to Dubai, Singapore, the States, everywhere, any of the financial capitals. And Micah, I'm worried for you, dear. She has 2 toddlers at home. We saw one of the little 3-year-olds being a 3-year-old. And Micah seems kind of overwhelmed, so she's latching on to friends. But remember, these are co-workers. I'll read a few comments and then we'll get back to the review. That's what Somali said. I must have missed that. Harry's Meghan, which part? I'll tell you in the DMs later. Okay. Harry's Meghan. What did I miss? She said about them saying something about oh, yes. Okay, thank you. Somali Queen. This was going to turn me off the first episode, and I mentioned it now, Lottie, right here in black. When they introduced us to Lady Emma, they are all like in awe of Lady Emma. Lottie has the nerve to say, Lady Emma is the first actual woman of color in the royal family. Meghan says it's her and it's not. Meghan does not say it's her. Meghan is the first to marry into, I don't even know what you call the, I don't know. They have their own titles. King Charles and them, or was Queen Elizabeth. Now it's, rest in peace to her. Now it's King Charles instead of Prince Charles. Prince William, soon to be King William. They ran Harry and Meghan off because some people think they're the R word. I believe so, from some of the way that they treated her. But this cast has thrown a few digs toward Meghan Markle for no reason. Yeah, Harry's Meghan, and that lady doesn't bother anybody. They were mad that she was over there cooking on Netflix. Why is she cooking on Netflix? Now she's going to Australia, and honey, they all in her pocketbook. She gonna make $1 million just to go to Australia? Yeah, I don't want her, so she can go wherever she wants. Actually, like her and Harry together, and those 2 little kids. So I will finish the comments and then go back to the review. They just can't take that they couldn't pull Harry. That's what it is. Some of these horse-faced, bad teeth women, they love making fun of Americans, but guess what? One of these uncouth Americans took the redheaded prince right under their nose. So I'm sorry, horse-faced women. You were not going to pull Harry anyway, okay? That's just my opinion. Yes, they were torn up. Now, because they don't treat Kate the way that they treated Meghan, okay? American Born is laughing. And Kate is a trip. Kate might be the one, they said someone asked Prince Harry about how dark might the children get, little Lilbet and them. I don't know their kids like that. They're sweet little kids, but excuse me, Kate, why are you asking about these children's color? So, I mean, it's repulsive. I'm glad Harry and Meghan left. We'll take them. The best revenge is living well. Press on, Harry and Meghan. It is. She be over there just a cooking. And what I like about her, she's so unbothered. She's a divorcee. Piers Morgan was up in arms. He thought he could pull her. It says she ghosted him. He almost quit a job. I'm leaving. You're talking about Meghan. And that man said, she cut you off. Remember that? It was a British sportscaster. This man's doing the sports or the weather. I forgot. And Piers started talking about Meghan like a dog. Somali Queen, I go off on a tangent, but the chat will bring me back and I'll get back to the review. He started talking about Meghan like a dog. The man got into it with Piers. Piers jumped up, snatched his mic off, and ran out. He was so mad. And then I think he was the one that got fired instead of the sportscaster who just kept talking. He's basically saying, Harry and Meghan don't bother anybody. The British press has been horrific to them. Meghan was concerned for her mentor. Harry was concerned for his wife and his young family. He got up out. So say what you will about the States. We'll talk about you behind your back and in front of your face, but you can change your station in life. You don't need a title to live well over here. So I agree with Cece. The best revenge is living well. Press on, Harry and Meghan. Agreed. American Born. I can't stand Kate. She's so fake that they don't even live together. American Born. I remember how they tried to make that into the biggest love story, like Prince Charles and Diana. That was not a love story, honey. That was a mess. That man never stopped roaming around with Camilla. I watched that the show on PBS. I can't think of the name of it. The Queen, the movie The Queen, but then they have the actual series. That man would sneak out the window, rolling around with a horse-faced Camilla, and then he finally ended up marrying her. But to his credit, he told them at the time that he wanted to marry her, and he was told by Prince Philip, who was a longtime dog, she's the kind of girl you have fun with, you do not marry her. And Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles was not her favorite, so they didn't want Camilla either, but he never gave up Camilla. No excuse for him treating Princess Diana like a dog. Their queen consort is a divorcee, 304, so oh well. There's a lot of them like that. But because they have a title, we're not supposed to pay any attention. And y'all, Dara, the one that quit the show, she has a baby with one of the horse-faced princesses from Fergie and Andrew. I can't even call him Prince Andrew anymore because his own brother took his title. Y'all, this is a trip. Excuse me for the segue into the royal family, but when they started talking about Harry and Meghan, I got to drag them. That makes me so mad, CC, American Born says. They tried it and it failed. They did. I think they wanted to make her crazy. Welcome into my moderator, Angela A. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday if you celebrate. And thank you so much for my super sticker. It is good to see you during a live. This is Ladies of London. I was partway through the review, but then we started talking about the royal family and the way they have treated Harry and Meghan. American Born says, I watched that as well. The Crown. Yes, that's what it was, The Crown. It was so good. The season where they did the courtship and how Diana and Charles met was really sweet. And then to see what she went through, they started messing with her mental as well. So I'm glad that Meghan got out of there. I think it could have been really dangerous for her. It's one of the daughter's husband now. Yes, Eugenie or the other one, Beatrice. Two old, ugly names for two horse-faced young women. I don't mind dragging them. Y'all know they all in that file cabinet. The Ep Island files. Yeah. Fergie was the one that was setting Andrew up like, I need 25,000, I need 75,000. Evidently, Fergie is really bad with money management, and it really put them into a lot of in dire straits. Angela is speaking to myself, the mods, and the chat. And she's a moderator as well. I appreciate it when she can come in during a live. American Born is laughing. That's probably about the royal family. I'm laughing at him too. Because Meghan and Harry are living their best life. Harry looks a little portly. So Meghan, you really are cooking over there. I love it. So Micah was showing videos of Lady Emma. Remember, Lady Emma is going to Kenya to run in this race for charity. And all of the group have left her videos, wishing her well, telling her if anybody can do it, she can, telling her they love her. And Lady Emma, y'all, this was kind of touching. She was really happy that they were treating her like just a regular friend. So I thought that was really sweet of this friend group. So then we see Margot. Margot is asking Martha. She's over at Martha's house. Martha described her place as squalor, and it is. She's moving, but even when she's not moving, y'all, Martha keeps a nasty house. This is a magpie. Hagar is a magpie. It is a bird that flies all over the house, tries to poke people in their eye, also poops all over the place. So don't start your new apartment out like this, y'all. This is a mess. So she says, Hagar A wakes up early. She crashes around until Martha gets up. They discuss having a pet psychic. Y'all, this is one of the gimmicks that Bravo sometimes does. Who suggested this to you, Margot? I mean, not Margot, Martha. Who suggested this to you? This is silly. But Margot, because she's an actress, she's in on it. Excuse me, y'all, I have to go off camera for 1 second. I've been keeping it warm in here, and I feel myself starting to perspire. So thank you for your patience. All right, there we are. So they are having a pet psychic come in. We find out that Hagar A had knew Martha in another life. She feels like she is in charge of Martha. And the pet psychic is a little out there. She's like, Hagar A, what would you say to Martha if you could speak for all magpies? Hagar A allegedly said something like, I think she was Martha's mother in a former life or something like that. So we get Margot saying in a confessional, what she's saying is that she is the boss of Martha. Y'all, this is crazy. This bird, I'm allergic to bird dander. Yes, Cece, you know what? That is another consideration that Martha could have. I wouldn't be over her house. She hosted something at her house. The house was so nasty, and she was trying to put stuff. She was doing like the Sons for Married to Medicine, just putting stuff in a container. I can't eat everybody's potluck and different stuff like that. It was nasty, but Martha keeps a nasty house. She's immaculately dressed, though. She's in some really cute polka dots. But Martha, clean up. This is disgusting. Thanks to the American Manners woman. She's very sweet. Yeah, that is Micah in the pink. Micah is really sweet. I like her. Nasty. Birds are so nasty. They are American born. They really are. And they don't clean up after themselves. And then Haga is just flying around. And then Cece said she's allergic. So I don't care for this at all. They're just gross. They make a mess. Yeah, they do. And that bird should be in a cage. I don't think that's good. So Haga A is still flying around. So on behalf of Magpies, something. This was just kind of a silly scene. I did like to see that Martha moved. Margot came to visit her. And the bird landed on Margot. Margot says, oh, the floors were so warm. I thought it would be like cold and creepy, but it was warm. And I think that Haga A is really sweet. I think both of y'all are silly. I wouldn't be over at Martha's house like this. I didn't care for it. They're just gross. They make a mess. Oh, yeah, we're still talking about this magpie, these birds. Yes, the bird should be in a cage. So Lady Martha, clean up and put your bird in a cage. Margot has another scene where she is telling us she's dragging this husband back from LA. Her words. She told us last week she had to beg the man to marry her after she trapped him with a baby. That's what she said. So she's saying, are you coming to my party? She's talking to Martha. Martha's throwing a party not at the house, though. She's going to have it in a park. So Margot is asking the South Carolina version of who all's going to be there. And Martha names the whole group. She names Kimmy last because we know Kimmy and Margot got into it over Margot running to tell news to Missy. Now, Missy and Kimmy have made up, but now Kimmy's mad at Margot for bringing the bone. So Margot says Kimmy was really aggressive and she's hanging out with Mark a lot. He's talking about me. So, and Kimmy is aggressive with the finger pointing, the yelling, the cussing up close. That's really aggressive. So Kimmy's talking to Martha. She gets invited to the party. And then next, we'll just skip to where they are at the party. The party's at a park. Again, it is a My Fair Lady party where Eliza Doolittle starts out as loud and vulgar and poorly dressed. And this professor takes her off the streets, cleans her up, polishes her up, teaches her how to speak proper English, and she becomes a lady. So she's My Fair Lady. The only one, the production is asking, what do you know about My Fair Lady? Everyone kind of knew a rags to riches story except for Missy. Missy said, I don't know what the theme was. I know a lady, I just thought it was something like a fairy. So Missy, you're kind of dumb, but they'll excuse that because you're pretty. Now, Missy, we know that she is stylish. This is the most stylish cast across Bravo, in my opinion. Missy's always falling out of her clothes, y'all. So it's not a party if she doesn't have a nip slip or two. She looks cute. Everyone was wearing some kind of top hat. I want to see, I want y'all to see Kimmy come in. I hope I left it at the exact place. And I was not able to say that. And then Margot, y'all, Margot thought that she was going to show up a certain way. She actually doesn't. That was from last week. So that now we know Kimmy and Margot have gotten into it. And we saw a scenario where they were pointing each other's fingers in the face. Y'all, I left out a whole scene from Lottie and Joshua, but that is okay. Lottie and Joshua go to the doctor. We know they are expecting, and they have a scan of the baby. The baby's head was like hanging low or something, and they wanted a picture. Joshua thought he was going to put this unborn child's picture online, but he said he didn't get a really good image of the baby. Joshua, I'm glad you didn't do that because that was kind of silly. Okay, so as we show them all arriving to the party. All right, let me show y'all what Kimmy came in. Kimmy's in this long sleeve flower suit, which is, it's a dress and skirt. And then she has this black top hat. And she looks so cute the way she walked in. Martha's very well dressed as well, even though she keeps a nasty house. Margot falls out of her clothes as well. I want y'all to see what Missy had on. And then I'll let you hear them talking a little bit. I'm going to say some clips of them so you can hear them. Y'all, I think that Joshua, we found out from Lottie that people think Joshua's gay because he's flamboyant and he's in fashion. And she thought he looked like Johnny Depp when she first met him. But I think that Joshua likes to treat his wife Lottie kind of like his little muse. He keeps her dressed up and everything. But y'all see those Manolo Blahnik shoes? He had a partnership with them and they sponsored him. He has a shoe in his name for Manolo Blahnik. So that's really prestigious. Margot shows up looking ridiculous. She's falling out of her dress as well. Nothing about that was My Fair Lady. And she's in cowboy boots. Kimmy, I cannot stop it at exactly the place, but I wanted y'all to see what Kimmy had on. I think I still can do it. Now, remember, the only one not in attendance is Lady Emma, who is in Kenya for her marathon. Okay, here's Mark and Kimmy.
And I think it's perfectly charming.
Okay, did y'all hear? Now Margot's talking about Mark's safari jacket. Mark is not bothering Margot, but he getting ready to bother her because Mark got a slick mouth as well. I thought Kimmy looked really cute with the black top hat. Micah looked cute. Micah's in a hat. She said, I picked this hat so that I could kind of look down. But almost as soon as everybody got there, they were in separate corners and off in little groups talking about each other like a dog. Y'all, it was pretty funny. I'm going to go through the comments and then we are going to continue with this My Fair Lady garden party, which is pretty mean. Yes, Katharine Hepburn's My Fair Lady. Oh, I said Audrey Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn. Thank you so much. Katharine Hepburn, not Audrey. Who's the other pretty Breakfast at Tiffany's? Audrey Hepburn. Katharine, not Audrey Hepburn. My Fair Lady and Breakfast at Tiffany's are two different actresses. Poor Martha caught in the middle. That's what led last episode's Martha in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. Like Moni, hip hop reference. Yes, CC, I got the reference. Martha is in the middle. She said they are her two best friends. And then Johnny Depp, American Born, said he likes to keep saying that because Lottie said she met him at night with a hat on in a club and they had been drinking and all this kind of stuff. I do like his hats. I do like his style. He can sew an amazing suit. They're having a boy. Y'all, they had a gender reveal last week. It's a boy. Somebody said, oh, he'll be a footballer. And I'm like, no, he's probably going to have a little sewing machine and be sewing up little suits along with Joshua. But they show up in white suits. They look really cute in the custom suits. Lottie looked like she forgot her pants. And she gets to show her baby bump. So they finally have the baby bump. Kimmy, I thought, really looked cute. And American Born is saying what Mark had on looked like he was dressed for a safari. And it did. When Margot saw him come in, she was sitting under a tree with Micah, and she is talking about Mark like a dog. Look at him, dressed like he's going on safari just because he's friends with Lady Emma. Now, Margot's mad that people are talking behind her back, but Margot has been going around telling people that Mark's only friends with Lady Emma so he can basically clout chase, but she said social climb. And I don't think that's the reason why they're friends. I saw Mark, he's doing a press run. He was on one of these other YouTube channels. You know, Bravo gives the larger certain channels the interviews. And Mark was saying that he's been friends with Lady Emma close to 2 decades. He's known everyone a really long time. So for Margot to say that, it is really silly. Shady production. Yes, they were saying he looked like the guy that carries that monkey, whoever that detective is. And the jacket did kind of look like that. I thought the safari jacket looked really nice, but it wasn't on theme. So Mark, you are acting like Dr. Contessa from Married to Medicine. You're right. Audrey Hepburn was in My Fair Lady. Okay, thank you. Audrey Hepburn. Okay, so she was Breakfast at Tiffany's and My Fair Lady. Katharine Hepburn is another classic actress, but she's not in My Fair Lady. Exactly. She's mad because Mark calls her out. Yes, Margot thinks that she can produce this, and I don't know why people think they can produce these reality shows. Production is the one that's going to produce, not y'all. So I do like the way this went. Margot sitting under a tree talking to first Lottie and then Micah, and Mark breezes in his safari jacket, Kimmy, and they start kissing each other and just talking about, is everyone going to come over and speak? No, they're not. And then Lottie said, so you're not going to speak to Mark? And then Margot saying, is Mark going to speak to me? Mark looked over there, turned back around to his friends, and he kept right on talking. I'm with you, Mark. I do that too. So Margot wants somebody to beg her. Margot's not innocent in this. I didn't blame her telling Missy what Kimmy said, because I thought Kimmy was being a little over the top because Missy shared her information about her brother, losing her brother on Christmas Eve. And Kimmy, I felt, went too far, calling it a sob story and all this kind of stuff. Now that has been squashed, so they are no longer angry at each other. But Margot, who told the news, is now having a feud with Mark and also with Kimmy. So there's a lot going on. And American Born is right. She is mad because Mark called her out. And I feel like she's met her match. So Lottie and Joshua come in. Lottie is missing her pants. I didn't know about the black stockings, but the white suit was cute. And she tells us that they have a summer showcase Joshua's getting prepared for. She's really worried because he works really hard certain seasons. And now with her carrying the baby and she's getting further along, she's going to need help. Production, they throw some scenes in of Lottie doing things around the house. So she says she has a little fear that Joshua might be married to his business. I don't know, Lottie. I think baby makes 3. Y'all going to have to just go with them when the baby gets here. So Mark says, I'm going to call Lady Emma and see what she's doing. Margot is looking daggers at him. Oh, he's going to call his friend. I think that Margot is jealous of the relationship that Mark has amongst all these different friends. And she can't show that because she thought that she would be the popular one. So some Southern ladies have that in them where they think they're going to be the pretty popular one, but the audience chooses who the pretty popular one is, not you, Margot. So Mark gets on the phone. He FaceTimes Lady Emma and he said, I wonder if she'll pick up. She picks up. It's 10 p.m. in Kenya. Y'all, there was this scene production showed as she was getting ready. They were getting the route ready where the race is going to run through. There was a lion just lying on the path. It was so beautiful. That continent, I know why people coveted everything that was over there then and to this day. To this day, beautiful. Production took that shot. It was just gorgeous. Lady Emma gets on the phone. She's laughing. What are you all doing? She told Mark, you're the one on safari? And then Kimmy said, that's the snarkiest thing I ever heard you say. I love it. Kimmy starts, Kimmy is laughing. So they're all just laughing with each other. Mrs. Best Reviews, thank you so much. Y'all, Mrs. Best is one of my fellow content creators speaking to me. Happy Friday to you all and also the chat. She also reviews Ladies of London. So if you're not already over there, please get over there. Y'all, we want Google to be able to pay some of the young working content creators. I include myself in the bunch, everybody, okay? So if you're not already at Mrs. Best, please go there because she reviews this as well. That's where Somali lives. American Born. Okay. Yes, I know that she's in one of the African countries. I didn't know exactly which one. Kenya's beautiful. My family is Kenyan. Mrs. Best Reviews. Really, I didn't know that. I know you are a West Coaster, but now I'm hearing that you have ties to Kenya as well. That is wonderful. American Born is laughing. Probably at my Kimmy impression. Kimmy is laughing. Kimmy takes her teeth all the way out of her mouth and laughs. She got kind of like a Dr. Simone vibe. When people do that, y'all, it just cracks me up. It's so funny. Can you drop her link? I cannot drop links right now. I'm sorry, but I thank you for bringing that up. That's something I want to do eventually because I do have content creators that will come in and support me while I'm live, but I don't know how to drop a link. Sorry about that. Yes, the Kimmy impression is funny. Yeah, Kimmy's a trip. She's just a cackling, her and Mark. Margot is stormy faced. She's mad. She wants Mark to come over and talk to her, but he's on the phone with Lady Emma. Margot is sitting under the tree and telling Lottie, look at me. I'm on the phone with my best friend. Lottie ends up going and getting in the FaceTime so Lady Emma can speak to everybody. Now, Micah was just under the tree cackling with Margot. Now she's over here in the FaceTime call with Lady Emma. Micah, we see you. Micah does not want to be on anybody's bad side. And we know she had that special moment where she came bearing gifts and a basket of different things for Lady Emma. So I'm glad that they all got to speak to her on the FaceTime call. So it's 10 p.m. in Kenya. And she's going to start the run, the marathon the next day. Y'all, Lady Emma works hard for that title and that money. That is a trip. So after the phone call, Mark goes over to talk to, no, he actually didn't. I'm sorry. After the phone call, Margot came over to talk to Mark. So Mark kind of won that little battle. She thought that she was going to get him to come over there. He didn't. So she sat under the tree, just upset until he kept looking at her. They were looking at each other. And then Mark was like, what is she wearing? And Kimmy said, I can't believe she's got on cowboy boots. They start cackling, laughing at her. Martha said, this is horrible. These are my two best friends. Again, Martha is in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. Cece got the Moni reference, Moni love. So y'all, this is too much. I wonder if their teeth get dry. I'm sure they do. You know, they don't have fluoride in their water. It's kind of relatively a new thing that you'll see people from the UK that have, Americans are big on your white teeth and keeping your teeth together. And if you don't, it's kind of a sign of where maybe you didn't have the money or you didn't take care of it maybe as well as you should have. But Kimmy's teeth, and Kimmy is Haitian American, but her teeth kind of look like what you would expect. I don't know. I don't want to step on anybody's foot, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you've watched any of these shows on the BBC, you'll see that it's just not a thing that some of them put any stock in. So they're all kind of a little standoff. Margot comes over, speaks to Mark. I never thought you'd be the person that would talk about someone behind their back, but you are. Mark's like, I would talk about you behind your back or behind your face. Anyone that can wear what you're wearing. He was saying something to Margot. Margot was wearing this horrific little ostrich looking jacket. I don't know, with the cowboy boots. She looked a mess. I think Micah was embarrassed by Margot. I think she was, because Micah is Miss Etiquette. She's the other American. Kimmy is too, but I don't consider her as much because she's married to a British man and she's been in the UK for decades. So Kimmy doesn't come across as Haitian American to me, even though that's what they bill her. So I look at Micah and Margot as the Americans, and the way Margot is acting is not right. We get a confessional from Micah, who is saying that for an etiquette coach, she's got her work cut out. The people are not being very nice to each other. They bring another couple in, another Mimi, y'all, not Dr. Mimi, just a Mimi. Her and her husband, Noah, come in. They're dressed appropriately for the My Fair Lady party. They greet Martha. Mimi asked Martha, how you doing? You having fun? Martha said, no, my friends are at each other's throats. This is terrible. So Kimmy and y'all, my notes ran out. Oh no, here they are. I'm sorry. Kimmy walks over because Mark and Margot are getting into it. Kimmy walks right over. Now Kimmy is aggressive. She says, don't pick on Mark. He didn't do anything. Kimmy, you a trip. Margot says, he's spreading things about me. Kimmy says, so what? You spread things about other people. Production showed us again, Margot talking about at least 2 to 3 different people like a dog. Margot, I think production switched where Kimmy was going to be the villain. Tag, you are it, Margot. I think you're the villain now. So Kimmy says, so what? You pick on people too. Excuse me, y'all. She said, so what? You picking on people too. So then we see Margot in the confessional saying that Mark is a social climber. He's latched himself onto Lady Emma. I think they're really friends. Mark is actually godfather to Lady Emma's children. So Margot, that's kind of a mean claim. I think you would be the one to social climb. Sometimes people accuse you of what they do. I was in a live today with Queen Sheba, and something about projection came up. People will accuse you of what they're doing. So Margot is claiming, when I walk into a room, I get attention. Mark is a person that tries to seek attention. She thought she ate with that. She did not. I think that Mark gets attention and that Margot seeks attention. So they are dragging each other to their face. They're talking about this horrible little ostrich jacket. Kimmy wants to know, what about these cowboy boots that South Carolina got on? So she's a trip. Martha is saying, stop this. All of you are my friends. Martha's getting upset. And Kimmy was saying, I'll say anything to Missy's or anybody's face. Now, Missy started most of this. After Missy and Kimmy made up, Missy was happy to go back to Margot and tell her that Kimmy and Mark were now talking about her. So Missy's kind of at fault, but Kimmy is at fault a lot too. And then Margot, you brought all this on yourself. So Kimmy is calling Margot two-faced. I have to agree with that. Margot says, oh, what happened to your accent? I didn't notice that. Did Kimmy's accent dip a little bit? I don't know. I think all of y'all are putting on a little bit. Margot's doing this South Carolina, and now I'm over here in the United Kingdom. Whatever air she's putting on. And Mark, I don't know if this is real. I think Mark is exaggerating what he's doing a little bit. And then Margot gets in a confessional and says something really cruel. He wants the social relevance of Lady Emma because his family abandoned him. Margot, what is wrong with you? I felt like that was really distasteful. I don't mind the fun shade, but when you start bringing up people, parents, and the people didn't want him, Mark told us in one of the earlier episodes, he just bought a home in Tuscany. As we know, his mother and father were never really together, but his mother has some type of title. She is from the UK. The father is Italian. He's an Italian businessman. They had some type of situationship. Mark was the product of that, and the father would fly him in to Italy to see him every weekend, but they never had a really close relationship. The father is now in ill health, so Mark has purchased a home to be closer to his dad. Margot, you didn't eat with that. That is disgusting. And when Mark hear that, I can't wait. I hope they get a reunion, y'all. I hope they get a reunion. So I'll go through some more comments. People who project are so irritated. They have no self-awareness. Cece, none. We'll have to do a live one time on maybe Houdini friends. How many of us have them? Because it's the whole friend thing is getting kind of crazy. And especially when you reach a certain age, it's actually harder to make friends because as we see a lot of these Real Housewives shows, people get older, but that doesn't mean they're more mature. They're just older. So some of these old ladies, they do an old lady gang on you too. But I'm never going to be part of a gang. I don't care who it is. That's crazy to me. Russian princess, I think. Thank you, American Born. That's what it is. Mark's mother is a Russian princess. The father is, he may be a financier, something. He holds some type of position in Italy or did at the time that was prestigious, and there is money there. So Mark grew up being around a lot of people that had money, had a title. So he doesn't have to climb South Carolina. He's already where he needs to be. I didn't like Margot saying this. I want to give everybody a fair chance, give everybody their fair first season chance. Sandra P's cloak of immunity. But Margot, you really tried it, girl. I didn't like that at all. So Kimmy is, Margot saying, what happened to your accent? Kimmy is really mad. She tried to storm off, but she's wearing these wedge heels and she almost fell. So I thought that was pretty funny. We get another confessional from Margot who's saying, it's not my fault that you're talking like the guy from the Monopoly board. Y'all, that was kind of funny because Kimmy was wearing a hat that was the top hat for the Monopoly board. So Margot is making fun of Kimmy. Kimmy's making fun of Margot. Mark is making fun of everybody except Martha. Martha is upset. Her newer friends that came in are checking on her. Micah is hiding up under that hat. Kimmy is now crying. She is in Martha's face saying, you defend her all the time. Defend me. If you were my friend, I would defend you. And Martha is saying, I do defend you. And she says, you don't. So she said, she's backstabbed you and you were still in defense of her. So now Martha is upset. Kimmy is crying and pointing. And Missy is yelling, Kimmy, you're crying? Missy, you're too much. Missy took Kimmy's face in her hand like this. You're crying? You're showing emotion? And Kimmy kind of like couldn't get her face away from her. Y'all, I don't know how many drinks these people had, but they were going crazy. They were screaming and yelling and crying, and Kimmy was pointing. So Mark says, I've known Kimmy for years. She's never shown this type of emotion. So Kimmy is really upset. Martha says, I love you. She said, but you're being a psychotic bitch. And then Kimmy says, well, I am a psychotic bitch, but it doesn't make me a bad person. I don't know how they didn't bust out laughing because I would. So Martha says, that's right, you're not a bad person. So they all kind of make up. And Margot says, I love the fact that they had a fight about me. Margot, you are not beating the ugly American allegations. Y'all, this lady sat back and she did a confessional and said she loved the fact that they were fighting over her. I didn't like that. That was some Dr. Heavenly mess, y'all. I didn't like this. So they all made up. American Born is laughing. Yeah, they all made up. Hi, Sandra. Happy Friday to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Mrs. Best came in already. People who project are so irritating. Okay, I read that. Below the belt. Yeah, Margot. What she said about Mark and his family. First of all, he doesn't need to social climb. I think Margot is a social climber. And then the fact that his parents didn't want him. They didn't have to get married to prove they wanted him. They wanted him. And then you confirm that the mom is a Russian princess. And again, I think we're laughing at me trying to do their accents and these loud, horrible arguments. So we find out that Kimmy is a psychotic bitch, but she still wants Martha to take up for her. And Kimmy's a little bit sensitive. And Missy is having the greatest time saying, Kimmy, you're showing emotion. Because Missy felt like she got kind of picked on when she was vulnerable and she showed emotion. So y'all, this was another good episode of Ladies of London. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. I wouldn't give it a 10 because Lady Emma wasn't there for most of the episode. And then they didn't really do too much, but we had scenes with everybody. Let me go to the side and make sure you can all look at everybody again. Missy is below me in white with the scarf around her neck. That is Martha. Remember, she is a lady as well. Lady Martha in black. Micah is the etiquette coach. She's the American. She has 2 small children. She's married while the show's being filmed, but we've only seen the husband on FaceTime. Lady Emma is married to, I believe, a duke. She is an active royal or a member of the aristocracy. We'll say that. Micah is a try-hard, and she is one of the Americans, or as Kimmy would say, South Carolina. Below her is Mark. He is the only gent in the group, Ladies of London, the new reign. Kimmy is in green. She is a Haitian shipping heiress, but she has been in the UK for a lot of years. She's married to her husband as well. He is British. And then Lottie is expecting. So Lottie Dottie, she don't like to party. Lottie is mainly standing around wearing little suits that her husband had made her and gossiping because she cannot drink. You give it an 8 to American Born. Really good episode. Yes, Somali Queen was in here earlier, said she can't really get into it. I appreciate her coming in to support. Everyone who came in to support during the live, I appreciate it. Cece, one of the moderators. Angela A was one that was in here earlier. So everyone, thank you so much. We're right at an hour. Thank you for joining the live. And I hope all of you are going to enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm going to get packing. Sandra P is free to move about the cabin. That starts tomorrow. I'll be in and out. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, try to do that. So Mark is actually cast. Ladies of London, like I said, he's the only gent. Cece, you know we do that stunt casting sometime. Y'all know how Andy Cohen is. He is from Made in Chelsea, and he's very witty and charismatic, and he is connected to everyone in the circle of friends. So that's how he got his. They're not holding anything. I don't know. We'll see what they give them to hold, but he's not one of the ladies. He's a gent. Lottie can be nasty as well. American Born, you see her? And slick with it too. And they can't say a lot to her because she's pregnant. She's little Lottie. Her husband's not there sometime. He's traveling, making little suits. So Lottie, we got you, girl. You saw her under the tree laughing and making fun with Margot. And then she went right back over to the other group and started making fun with them. Your review is a 10. Thank you, Cece. I appreciate that so much. I love when people that don't even watch the show will watch my review. So I thank you. Again, I'm trying to grow my channel, and I appreciate people that come in and just hang with me and engage with me because that actually helps as well. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Yes, everyone, please be safe. Have a blessed weekend. First time a male has been cast. Yeah, American Born, we're up to season 4, and he is one of the gent on Ladies in London. Great review, Sandra. Thank you. American Born, I'm so glad you're watching so we could talk about it. And we see her. She isn't fooling us. No, she isn't. And now Margot, her slip's showing too. So there's 2 of them I got my good eye on. And thank all of you. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Sunday is Easter if you celebrate. So I hope everything is relaxing, peaceful for everybody. I'll be at sea on Sunday, so I'm sure it will be for me. But I already set up a couple of lives. So tomorrow I'll be at the hotel, but I'm going to do my Rhode Island review. So if you can join me for that, please do. If you're Team Replay, thank you, Team Replay. Click the hype button, click the like button, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Everybody, thank you. I will see you in the YouTube streets. Have a great weekend. Goodbye, everybody.
Just put a label on it, even if it doesn't change the circumstance. Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their minds. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.